Journey, Pirates of the Caribbean. Your turn, go.
So we're actually doing Lord of the Rings. I was just using this fake account.
Oh, what?
I was kidding. So yeah, our hero's journey is about Pirates of the Caribbean, and our hero is William Turner. His upbringing was kind of strange in that his father was a pirate, and he was the key to lifting the curse of the Black Pearl. But Will was a cabin boy. His ship was destroyed, and he was set afloat. But he was saved by a passenger ship and then taken to Port Royal, where he became the apprentice of an armor smith and made swords for the British Army, or British Navy. He unknowingly remains the sole person that can release forces of curse off of the crew of the Black Pearl, and that's kind of like his background. So yeah, his first call to adventure. You want to take this?
You doing the first part?
Am I doing this one? Okay, cool. Is when he first meets. This is kind of like the prelude to the call to the adventure. This is when he first meets Captain Jack Sparrow. He sneaks into his fort and they fight it out until Jack's finally arrested. And then his actual call to adventure happens when Elizabeth, his lady friend, gets kidnapped by a zombie pirate crew. Don't really know what's happened yet, but Will finally connects the zombie pirate crew to Jack, and then they go save Elizabeth later on. But that happens later on in the movie.
You spoiled it.
Yeah. Did I spoil it?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Wow, never mind. I was in it.
Crossing the threshold. This happens after the kidnapping of Elizabeth, when Will is forced to determine to save Elizabeth. He has to free Captain Jack Sparrow. So that's the invasion. That's him talking to Jack Sparrow. And so once he frees him, he uses a bench to pry the door apart, which is pretty cool. They go and they rob a ship. They basically steal a ship to go save them, and so they run the ship. Just Will and Jack go save her. Yay. Trials. So yeah, there's a bunch of trials on this movie. Obviously, because you can tell from the first Pirates Invasion, your lady friend being stolen, having to free a pirate. That's Elizabeth's about to be sacrificed, which is nice. And so it's pretty interesting because, side note, zombie pirates, zombie soldiers, it's a very, I don't know, it's kind of a blatant ripoff of Greek mythology, because Greek mythology, if you plant a dragon's tooth, then zombie soldiers pop up, which is the same thing as these guys. So more Greek culture. So yeah, he goes through wild storms, having to battle zombie pirates, being captured by the Black Pearl and a crew. So yeah, another challenge that he's faced with is saving Elizabeth from this pirate's cove, and yeah, a more difficult step that makes him even more determined in his quest and makes his character stronger. You want to take it from me?
Okay, sure. So, I don't know if we'd really call him a mentor, but I guess what we decided on was doing Captain Jack Sparrow as kind of his helper, because prior to this, Will kind of had a very negative connotation of pirates, and then when he had to go save Elizabeth, he kind of had to step into that lifestyle, and so Jack kind of helped induce him into that and teach him the things and the skills that he would need to learn in order to be able to complete his task.
Temptation. So we separated the temptation and the abyss. The temptation was the lowest point where Will succumbs to evil or temptation that surrounds him.
Okay.
Yeah. So when he rescues Elizabeth from this island where you saw the picture, she was about to be sacrificed. When he saves her from that, he knocks her back and leaves them for dead for all pirates. So that's the lowest point when he was tempted by evil. The abyss is kind of the climax of the story when he's fighting pirates and zombie pirates, and it's one of the most perilous points, and the outcome is really uncertain. So that's more of the darkest. You don't know what's going to happen next. He's going to get shot. He's going to die. So most dangerous part for him. Transformation. You want to do this?
Yeah. Okay, so he doesn't really go through a transformation since this is just the first movie. He kind of goes through that fully in the second or third movie. But for this part, it's when he saves Elizabeth because he kind of achieves what he's been working for the entire movie, and he kind of gets that sense of accomplishment since he's gone through all these difficult tasks and finally achieves what he's been trying to do the whole time. Okay, I can do that too. Okay, so the return home is pretty simple. They go back to their home, and I guess part of the return home is kind of having to prove yourself. And so there's a point in the end where Jack is going to be hanged for piracy, and since Will feels indebted to him, he saves him from that at like his own peril and risking his life for that. And then the Mastery of Two Worlds, like I said before, Will had a very negative image of piracy beforehand, but then at this point he kind of has to realize that he can retain his old morals and the fact that he is a good guy and that he also has kind of a pirate history.